Hey, it's Captain Mike over at fishyourassoff.com, and today what I want to talk about is how to fish in the summertime. You know, the summertime frustrates a lot of people because the water's so hot and they're fishing the same places they fished in the spring and fall and the winter, and they're just not catching fish. They're doing something wrong and they don't know what. So you just got to understand some things about the summertime that are different from the other times of the year. One of the main ones is obviously it's hot, so the water's hotter, and these fish don't like hot water either. So most of the fish, the ones that we want to catch, you know, in my area, I'm on Treasure Coast, Florida, snook, tarpon, redfish, trout, you know, they really don't like it when the water temperature gets above 85. So they're usually going to try to find themselves something a little bit less than that if they can. They really don't want to move around a lot in that kind of water temperature a lot of times too. So yeah, that's a good number, I guess. 85, 86, something like that. But anyways, so you have to set up a schedule to take advantage of the things that are different in the summer months. And the things we know about the summer months are, like I said, hot, so the water temperature is a big deal. Number two is the main protein source is larger bait fish for everything. You know, in the winter time it's usually shrimp and stuff, but in the summer months you get these bigger bait runs running through, and that's what they're feeding on. And another constant in the summer months is bigger tides, so higher highs and lower lows. You know, we learned in science class that the summer solstice is when the earth is closest to the sun. It stretches the tides out, so your biggest tides are going to be in the summertime. So you got to keep that into account too on what areas you're targeting. So my suggestion to you, and this is what I do on my charters, okay, in the summertime, is you want to get out at first light, and you really want to take advantage of that first 3 hours of light. So the way you want to do that is if you're in a place where you have flats, you really want to hit those flats hard. So you have shallow flats that are anywhere from a foot to 3 feet deep. That's what you want to really hammer first thing in the morning, because as the sun comes up and those flats are going to get hotter, those fish are going to leave the flats and go into deeper water where a lot of times it's harder to target them. So what do you use in the morning? Well, low light scenarios, you want something with some contrast. So this is a 5.5 inch jerk bait. So you want to use larger baits too. That's another thing you want to do in the summertime, because like I said, they're feeding on bait fish. It's their main protein source. 5.5 inches is a good length. This is black with gold belly. Here's another one. It's a great way to fish this time of year, is nose hook one of these 5.5 inch jerk baits and just work it real erratically on top water, just like a top water plug in that shallow water. Or just use a walk the dog type of top water plug. You know, you want to go like this. This is a Rapala skitter walk. Doesn't matter, whatever you like. This is a DOA, the PT something or other, PT7, PT5, whatever it is. Whatever, it doesn't really matter. Bigger type of paddle tails. I wouldn't go with light until the sun came up, but here's a 4 inch with a black back and gold belly. Root beers are another great color. So that's what you want to hit real hard in the morning, okay? Purples and browns, blacks, first thing in the morning. Top water, first thing in the morning. Really want to hit the flats before the sun just makes it too hot to do, okay? You just have to do it. And however you like fishing. You know, if you're one of those people that wants, you know, one of these screw lock type of hooks, and you just want to do a jerk bait, or you could throw it on something like this and just reel it and paddle. Doesn't matter. Just find your fish first few hours of the day. You can fish wherever you want that first 3 hours of the day, because you have low light and the water is cooler than it's going to be for the first 3 hours. So let's just assume first light is at 6 o'clock even. So from 6 to 9, hit those shallow water, hit those flats with darker type baits, bigger baits, make a lot of noise so you can find out where these fish are and catch fish. Those big fish at nighttime move up on the flats so they can feed for that first light so they can eat some bait fish. And then they move back down to the deeper water as the sun comes up and as it gets hotter. So 6 to 9, that's what you're doing. Hit it hard. Next 3 hours of the day, we're going to call it 9 to 12. Well, now it's hot, right? I mean, unless like right now it's just done raining, it's cloudy. Clouds and rain will extend that a little bit because it'll keep the water cooler longer. But let's just say it's a normal day and it's not raining right in the middle of the day. It rains later in the day. So that means it's hot already by 9, 10 o'clock. Bright as you can believe, right? So now you want to switch your colors around too. Now you want to start fishing your lighter stuff. This is a 4-inch pearl DOA paddle tail. These are 4 3/4. This is just white with silver and gold glitter in it. It's a good one. This one I think is a 5-inch. I got these at Bass Pro Shop. I don't even know what color this is, but you see what it is. It's a darker back with a lighter belly. Glow, anything glow is a good color. Basically all of your white stuff is what you want to start pitching now. And now you really don't want to be fishing in the sun. So say there's a mangrove bank right here and it looks just great. Well, unless you're skipping up into the shady spots, don't fish the one that's getting full sun. Fish the one that's in the shade. You know, those shady spots, 1 or 2 degree difference makes all the difference in the world between catching fish and not catching fish. That's why you also want to pitch docks. If you're going to fish a long day when the sun's up, fish the docks because you know it's shady there, and just that couple degree difference is going to be great. So you're skipping into the shady spots, or you're fishing under shady spots in docks, anything like that. Or now's when you have to go deeper. All right. So when you go deeper, so say in the morning from 6 to 9 you were fishing a paddle tail, you might have had an 1/8 ounce jig head on there. Well, now you probably want to move it up a little bit. You probably want to have a 1/4 ounce, maybe even a 3/16, because in the morning you were maybe fishing 3 feet deep, 1 to 3 feet, let's say. Well, now you're probably fishing 6 feet, even 8 feet deep, because that's probably where the fish move to, is that level or deeper. So you need to be able to get to those fish in the deeper water now. So 1/4 ounce, 3/16, put it on just a big paddle tail like this, 4-inch paddle tail. Well, actually I would go lighter because the sun's up, something like this, and really sink it down there. Get it down there. 4, 5, even 6-inch paddle tails are great. Or just put a jig head on some of these 5.5-inch, just jerk it on the bottom, just like this, working it on the bottom. Always into the current. You want the current moving towards, you want your lure to be coming with the current towards the fish. But I think that's what a lot of people do wrong. I do these charters, they're the 4 or 6 hour charters, so I got to catch fish the whole 6 hours. And you really have to just change your entire plan. You can't fish the way you did first thing in the morning towards lunchtime and still expect to catch all those fish because they've moved down deeper in the water column. Whatever it is, I'm not pitching any of these things. I'm not sponsored by any of these things. I use DOA a lot just because they're right here near me. But that's another deeper water thing. That's a 1/4 ounce DOA. What is that called? Terrorize. It's another good one for getting down low, getting down deep in the water column. Whatever it is, just get it down deep. Even some of these heavier twitch bait type things, this is a Miradine. They got some of these that'll go down, 4 feet, 5 feet, something like that. Even those will work. And these are for the Fab 4 that we're always fishing for: snook, tarpon, redfish, and trout. That would be my suggestion for you on setting up a schedule for summertime to make you catch more fish. You just got to switch it up as the events of your day change. Some days, right, say it stays kind of rainy and cloudy the whole time, well, you could probably stick with your darker stuff the whole time. And the water's not going to get as hot as quick, so that might extend your period of being able to fish. But on a typical day, it's not how it works. It rains in the afternoons in the summertime. So you have low light, cooler water. 10 o'clock it starts getting really hot, and it gets hotter until you get the rain at the end of the day. So that's my suggestion. That's how to catch more fish in the summertime. These are the baits. Just remember, bigger's better. Put your 3-inch paddle tails away in the summer months, and I think you'll catch more fish. So I hope this helps, and until next time, I'll see you then. All right. Bye-bye.